So somebody left a comment on one of my videos, and they were asking about the remote. It says that it doesn't, the TV works fine, but they can't turn it on without rubbing down the remote first. I don't know if they mean this. I don't really know what that means, but it's a common problem with these infrared remotes. They use these plastic or these rubber membrane buttons, and sometimes you just got to really just push on the button to make it work, and doing that actually wears it out really fast. There's a way to catch it and fix it, which is take the remote apart and clean the inside of it. And I'll show you. Now this is the remote for my workbench. You can see there's a lot of crud from batteries that exploded, and I got to clean that up. Now usually, now some remotes there are screws that you can undo and the whole thing just comes apart. But unfortunately, in these days, everything these days is plastic. They don't even use screws. It's all just snapped together, and you gotta dig in there to pop this thing apart. There's, I'm sure, a proper way of doing it for this one. I don't know it. I'm not gonna look up the service manual, but really, you just get one of these plastic things, and there you go. It just pops apart. You just got to go around and do that. And these picks, they're similar to guitar picks, really. You can pick these up at, I know iFixit sells them. I don't know where else to get them. That's where I got them. I usually just use screwdrivers, but that will ruin the plastic. And you can see I did break. You're going to break some. It's just the way it is. These are not meant to be serviced. And that's all there is. You have these buttons. Here's all your buttons. You see how cruddy they get? And there's the contacts in the back, and they press against the board. So all I'm going to do, take a rag with some isopropyl and wipe it down. And I'm actually going to take this all completely out because of that leaking battery. I want to clean it completely. I should be using gloves for this, but I'm not. You can see where it even ate into the board a little bit. But what you do, you basically just wash the board off with just a little, with a rag and some rubbing alcohol, some isopropyl. You don't have to scrub it. That's actually going to be bad for it because you don't want to rub any of this stuff off. And it wouldn't hurt to go over the remote. Now with the remote, you want to be careful because you have these conductive rubber pads. You don't want to damage them, but you do want to clean any gunk. So maybe get a Q-tip out and hit it with a little isopropyl as well, and just clean them all off. Just go through and clean them off. And that's it. And you got to just go through the whole thing, or if you want, just the buttons you're having problems with. But since it's apart, it's a good chance, it's a good opportunity to actually clean up between the buttons and get all the grime out of there. You could probably throw this under a sink and wash it. Just be careful with what you use because you don't want to damage these conductive rubber pieces in the back there. And that's it. Then you just put it all back together and your remote works, or hopefully your remote works if it's not been pushed too far. I'm actually doing this as an example because the power button, you really got to push it to make it work. It's this one here. So I wanted to take it apart and clean it. And also because that battery let loose inside here, I wanted to soak this and get all the crap out of it. So that's it. Simple.